3, 2, 1. Special guest today, Terry from Facilities Fitness, owner and head coach. Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Pretty special occasion for us to two head coaches from two gyms in Newstead. It's not something that happens every day. So I'm super excited and looking forward to this, catching up.
Yeah, like we were talking about just quickly before, like you don't get this a lot, especially in such an area that's so heavy populated with gyms. Everyone's sort of trying to keep to themselves. I mean, there's more than enough people here to go around to all the gyms.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, the fitness industry as a whole, we will grow more with learning from each other, working with each other, rather than constantly fighting each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited for this.
I couldn't agree more, man. I agree. I feel the same way. I think the more Australians that we can get moving, the more members of the community that are exercising, the less we're dealing with obesity, chronic conditions, and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like when I very first started working as a full-time personal trainer, it was for a small studio, and our whole theory, our whole thing we tried to grow there was to build people up that haven't trained before, so they can then move on and feel comfortable enough to go and train by themselves at another gym or just move on to anything else which they find a little bit more effective for them. We just give them a good basic knowledge and then pass them through from there. And even, like I say with our members at my gym now, our training's not always going to be for everyone, but when it's for you at that time in life, we're going to have fun doing it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think far too many people out there just running other methods down or being nasty with each other and going, oh, that's wrong, you're doing that wrong, whatever. And it's a little bit, I don't know, maybe other industries are like this as well, but certainly over the last decade that I've been in this game, I've noticed that a bit.
Yeah. I've noticed it a lot more too from startup companies or startup personal trainers. They think it's very cutthroat. I mean, honestly, it's not. If you're good at what you do, people are going to come to you.
Yeah.
Word's going to spread. Word of mouth is one of the best forms of advertising.
Yeah.
When people are happy with their training, happy with their experience, they're going to bring their friends down. Their friends are going to bring their friends. Yeah. And again, it's not just building, fitness in people. It's building that community spirit as well.
Yeah.
So, our community we built with our club has just been fantastic. I mean, when COVID hit, that was crazy. We had members messaging us straight away. We're saying, we don't care what happens. We're going to keep paying our memberships. We're here to support you guys. And that was fantastic. It was it hit us in our hearts. It really did.
It's powerful.
So it was really good,
Yeah. How did you guys go with COVID? What did you find?
I mean, it was a pretty crazy experience. I'm sure it was for everyone.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about it was, again, we found out, like you probably did too, when everyone else found out, the general public found out. I mean, we heard on the news. I wasn't even watching the news when they told us. One of the other co-owners messaged me straight away, and he's like, we've got to close the gym tomorrow. I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah. I mean, we switched pretty much straight away, which was great. We just okay, this is what we're going to do. Online training, we're going to cut everyone's memberships prices down just to keep them on.
Yeah.
We worked out basically what we needed to cover just to keep us afloat through. Yeah. And again, our members wanted to keep paying full price. Well, no, look, we're cutting your member prices down to this. And the online workouts went great. They were really good. People kept doing them. We didn't really do anything too fancy. We were just doing live workouts through our private Facebook group. We were actually training quite a lot because we were doing a 6 a.m. live workout and a 6 p.m. live workout. Yeah. So between myself and Mitch, who's my other trainer at the gym there, one was filming while the other one was doing the workout. Yeah. Yeah, and then so he would do mornings, I would do night. Next day I would do morning, he would do night. We were actually training a lot more during COVID. I mean, we had a lot of one-on-one personal training too. Yeah. I mean, all training had to be done outdoors. Luckily enough, where we are, we had some undercover outdoor area at the front of our gym, which is included in our lease. So we were just taking equipment out there to train people. Again, and we came through it strong. We're actually stronger than ever now, which is great. Again, just I think awesome. Having that strong community really helped pull everyone through. Yeah.
That's very good to hear, man. Super powerful. When we look after our members, look after the community, it's a really big pat on the back when they go,
really is,
we're going to stand by you and sort of look after you at a time like this.
Yeah, like I said, it sort of makes you love your job even more. When you see someone getting fitter or stronger or enjoying training for the first time, that's one thing that, again, keeps me going. And then we get our members doing stuff like that, like supporting us the whole way through. Again, it's just another reason to love your members and love what you do.
makes it so much easier for us.
Makes it so
keep,
much
keep
easier.
doing what we're doing.
Mate, when we do some pretty big hours, some pretty long hours all
Yeah.
over the place, and it's things like that really keep you getting up and going.
Yeah. We were chatting off air about start hours before, going 6 a.m.'s a sleeping, bro.
That
when,
is
when, when we don't have a 4:30 start.
I remember back in school days when you get up at 6 and you're crazy, you know what I mean? Like now, 6 a.m. is sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, really starting to feel my age now.
COVID, I guess for us, man, similar vibes, similar. You know, it's really nice seeing the support from our members and the community, and members going, yeah, we know the gym's shut, but we want to hire equipment or you know, support you guys in other ways. That
so
worked
good.
well. Yeah. The same frustrations with, I guess, the word that we were getting. Same thing with the reopening back up after. It was super late notice. I remember when it got announced, and we were rushing like mad to get the gym ready again. And I think on the same day of the announcement, I must have been driving to Bunnings to pick something up, and I saw you walking around with a bucket and like cleaning everything
I was
again.
washing all the windows, washing every door, vacuuming every crevice we had in the gym.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And I definitely know it was the weekend. I can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday.
I think it was a Sunday, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, yeah. Because I remember it was my only day off, really, and I was in the gym working again.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool and pretty badass. I'm like, yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm prepping.
Yeah.
I'm prepping. Terry's prepping.
Yeah.
It's Sunday. Like, you know, I think it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. We're going. This is good. At least we can reopen again. And
I mean, like between your gym and my gym, there's a lot of gyms out there that didn't really reopen or try to reopen for 3 to 6 weeks after that even.
Yeah.
I felt really bad. There's another gym, I can't remember the name of it actually. Again, it was a smaller sort of boutique style gym. Because the government gave us an opening date, which they then brought forward, they actually stripped out all their equipment, were painting everything, and so all of a sudden they're like, oh, you can open tomorrow. And these guys are like, we're like a month off being able to open, so now we're losing even more money, which was pretty poor form on the government's behalf, I really think.
Yeah, I think it was ridiculous, man. It was like less than 48 hours notice. It was
crazy.
No,
it was like the same thing, like less than 48 hours notice to close the gym, then even less than that to open the gyms again.
Yeah. I guess a bit of a luck thing for us as small businesses. I think other large commercial gyms would have experienced the same thing because their staff, you know, they're running a bigger operation. They've probably got people on leave going, you know, you guys are off, and now all of a sudden, boom, everybody's back on.
And again, like you're saying, with smaller gyms like yours and mine as well, like contact tracing and all that is so much easier. Like you don't just have random people rocking up to train.
That's right.
You know, we're all group fitness based, so everyone's booking in for classes. If they're doing personal training, they're booked in for personal training. We just did cut down our open gym hours, like outside our classes. I will like telling people they had to book in to do that. But yeah, just like I said, I feel bad for we had members that trained over at Good Life, being a bigger gym again. They had areas sectioned out, and you had to book in a time. You can only stay in that area. You couldn't go from the functional area through to the cable machines. If you wanted to do the cable machines, you had to book in on a separate day. It's just really a crazy time. It honestly felt like we're living through some sort of bad movie the whole time.
I know Newstead became a ghost town. It was just, there was
Really
a point
did.
where it was like real weird. There's not many cars around. No one walking around. Everyone was just...
Especially the intersection just down the road, one of the worst in Brisbane. You're constantly beeping or almost car accident every day, and then just went to nothing. I mean, it was pretty funny. One of my clients and I were laughing about it. Like when the lockdown first happened and we were training outside, you're seeing everyone's coming out. They're all working from home. They're all still getting dressed up, going having their coffee dates, going back home. 3 weeks in, they're like walking around their thongs, stubbies, dirty singlets. Everyone sort of just gave up by that stage.
This is it. I've had enough. I remember a long time ago when I was based at another gym, I would walk past your facilities fitness 1.0 or your first spot.
The original.
It was on my I used to visit a client in a commercial gym and help him with rehab, and I would walk past, and I remember thinking, man, this is sick. You guys had like the smoothies at the front, like the boxing area.
I mean, it was really good for, especially where we were at that time. I mean, we quickly outgrew that, which is a great problem to have. It was great over there too because like over half our gym was outdoors area that we had exclusive use to, so it had a really good vibe, that sort of outdoor, almost LA sort of vibe to it.
Yep.
But then, what the weather gets like here and, the wet seasons, every time it rained, we lost over half our gym. So classes were a little bit more crowded, having to move everyone to areas where we could safely train them. So we got to the point where, we knew we had to outgrow there. We couldn't grow any further where we were. We started looking around and then found our new location for Facilities 2.0. I mean, all in all, it's probably very similar floor space, but all more practical floor space that can be used all the time.
Nice.
So,
I think from a location point of view, we've got a pretty good...
Mate, we've got a really good here right
Newstead?
now. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, not just the amount of foot traffic you get, because... I mean, it's the I call it the gym and cafe precinct of Brisbane. Like, every corner has got a gym and a cafe on it. But again, I remember, so a few years ago, quite a few years ago, I used to work at another gym just down the road. I worked there for about 6 years. And we got an email from the government saying that they've approved 70,000 apartments to be built in around this sort of tri-state area, I suppose you could call it, between like Tenerife to Bowen Hills, all around Newstead and New Farm. We thought, that's crazy, they're not going to fit that many apartments in. And now you look around here and there's apartments everywhere. Everywhere. And that's what I said, which is great, because it's brought an influx of people in, which means, again, enough people to go around. And you have people from all different sort of walks of life and people from different styles of training. So it's great being able for them to go around and have the options to choose. So I remember years ago, when I first started training, I had to drive like 30 minutes to get to a decent gym. Here you got to walk 30 meters and you're at one.
Yeah, a lot of our members report that back to us. They go, man, it is sweet. I have no excuse. I can just catch an elevator and come downstairs to the gym. I can literally get out of bed 5 minutes before the class and roll out.
Sometimes that's really good, but sometimes it works worse. Because you got the people that live, say, 10 to 15 minutes out of here and they still drive in for work and to train. And they're the ones here earlier on time. Then you get the people that live 20 meters above the gym. And they're rocking down 5 minutes late every day. Come on, man, you have no excuse. You know that.
I was gonna chat to you about motorbikes, man. I noticed you have a
That's my passion. I'm pretty new to riding, actually. I started riding... I always wanted to ride when I was younger. I used to dream about riding motorbikes. My cousin used to try to get me to go on the bikes with him, but my mother was against it.
Okay, yeah.
But again,
my mum too, bro.
She still is, but can't stop me now. So I got a nice Triumph Thruxton 900.
Thruxton 900.
Yeah, she's beautiful. My first bike was a VDR 250, a little Honda.
Okay.
And again, I had that modified into a cafe race as well, because I just fell in love with that sort of look, that old school vibe. Just that sort of. I'm trying to think of the word for it. Just the classics almost.
Classic open bike.
That naked frame. It's it's so raw. I've ridden sports bikes as well, and they're nice. A little bit too fast. If I got a sports bike, I'm losing my license within 3 months. Where this thing, it's got that deep rumble. It's got that vibration. You feel everything on it, and it's just good having a bike powerful enough that when you keep turning that throttle, it just wants to keep going as well. Do you ride at all?
I do, man. I really like your Thruxton. The black with the gold. The spokes on the rims.
So I got the bike modified at Smoke Garage, which is just up here in at Fortitude Valley.
I've never been in, but I drive past it all the time.
It's worth going to check it out. Guys there are fantastic. So they did my first bike as well.
Okay.
Again, they're all about that whole community. They want to look after their clients. So when the clients tell other people to get their bikes done there. So when I got my first bike done, they were still fairly busy, but they were fairly new. And now you try to get a bike done there, you got 6 to 9 months to wait to get your bike done, which is great. They do really good work there. And I remember when I took my bike in. You give them a budget, you tell them what done, you give them a budget, that's fine. If they find anything wrong with your bike, they're just going to fix it. They won't even ask you. They're just going to fix it. They found a bolt that was missing from my engine block.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they said, lucky we found that, because that could have led to some trouble. And they're like, we ordered the proper money from Triumph, we just fix it for you, don't worry about that. So they're really good like that. So I highly recommend them.
I'm going to go check it out, man, for sure. I remember they were a little bit further in the valley, and then they upgraded to where they are.
They moved down onto Ann Street there now. They still got some nice bikes on display there. A couple of really good ones, actually. can't remember the name of it now. It looks so futuristic though.
That silver one.
Big silver one,
Yeah.
The big silver bullet looking one. That one's great.
Yeah.
So one of the guys took that on the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride when we did that.
Yep.
Yeah, and it still just looks so hot. Sounds so good too.
I remember seeing it on your social when you did it last year, man.
Yeah.
Is it on this year or is it cancelled?
Well, it was at first it was cancelled. Then all of a sudden they came out. They're like, oh look, just going to ride solo. So if you want to still do it, still raise money. Unfortunately, it wasn't really enough time for me to get involved with them this year. I mean, it's a great cause. You're raising money for men's mental health, also for prostate cancer, all that sort of stuff as well. Mm-hmm. I think last year they raised over $5 million US in total in 1 year, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's really good. So I'm looking forward to doing it again next year.
Man, I'd love to join you.
You
Is
have
there
to,
a
man.
criteria?
Yeah.
Any bike or what?
Any bike. I mean, like classics and all that they prefer, but any bikes are welcome as long as they, you're just about dressing dapper. And just, being gentlemen on bikes. It's great. It's actually a pretty good feeling when you're riding with 300 or 400 other guys who all dress nicely. Yeah. There's a bit of a buzz when you're going through the city and all the little kids are there waving at you as you go past. Cool. It's pretty cool, and just the sound of all those bikes. It's just, I'm getting chills now just thinking about it. Yeah.
I remember seeing it on your socials last year, and I thought, man, this is sick. I'd never heard of it before. I saw it.
Well, one of my friends who actually got me into riding as well put me onto it, and I'm glad he did. Like I said, because it's a great cause. I'm all for raising money for good causes like that. Man, but again, just getting together with your friends and riding too. Any excuse is a good excuse.
I'll join you, man.
For sure.
I'd love to join in. I've been riding for a while as well. My first bike ever was a Kawasaki ZAR 250. Like a little sports tourer.
That would have been tiny under your big frame.
Well, man, a similar story. My cousin had one, and I went over his house. I had never ridden a bike. I was maybe, I think I was 16, and my dream was always like, since I was little, I loved engines and cars and anything that has a motor in it. I like bicycles as well. Anything with wheels, man.
Yeah. Anything you can get out and just feel the wind in your face like that is a pretty good feeling. Yeah.
Pretty good feeling, right? Like the wind, and you just feel free.
Yeah, it's the closest thing to flying, really, when you're on a bike, just like that.
Yep, you don't have the cage behind you in the car. It's a little bit more dangerous.
It's very daunting at first. I remember the very first time I went out to the freeway doing 100 k's plus. The very first time I was like tucked down, hugging the fuel tank, just gripping on. You're not even going that fast. You go a lot faster in cars. Like even in a 110 zone of car, it feels like nothing. Yeah. If you're doing 80 k's on a motorbike, you're just watching that road go straight past so close. It feels a lot faster than what it is. But again, you just get more comfortable with that. Yeah. And again, like I said before, it's such a free feeling. Honestly, you almost feel like Iron Man just flying through. Yeah.
First time I was on the freeway on the 250, I had this puffer jacket on. It was middle of winter in Brisbane. I had no gear, just the helmet, and I'm on this 250. The jacket's puffing up.
Did it fill up?
Yeah, and it's like lifting me up, and then I'm getting speed wobbles, and I'm trying to grip the tank. I'm trying to tuck in. It's lifting me up. Yeah, pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, especially on more so on the naked bikes as well, because they're not really the best thing for wind resistance. Yeah. So with this type of helmet I wear too, again, it's that classic style, a bit more sort of the bell-rounded one.
Yeah.
So when the wind hits you on that though, like you can feel it just trying to pull. You got to really tuck the chin down. Yeah. So it's not made for great speed.
Suits the bike, but black with the finger.
Yeah, it's nice. My wife is like, when we have kids, you got to get rid of that bike. And I'm like, well, I remember when I was a kid, my dad had a bike, and it's okay, and he's still alive, I'm still alive. Yeah. But yeah, she keeps saying it, but she knows it's not going to happen. Yeah. That's so funny because when I first got the motorbike, she was like, "You're not getting a motorbike," and I was like, "Okay, I'll wait till after we get married. Put all the money into the wedding, and then." Wedding happened, and then the bike came. She's like, "You didn't even tell me." I'm like, "I told you months before." It's one of those things. Like it's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission too, though. It's like,
it's here. Gonna ride it, and then
like when she thought I was taking the bike I got now, she's like, "I thought you were just taking for a test ride." It's like, now you own the bike.
Your training, man. I see you boys training pretty hard down there. What do you get up to for your training? What do you enjoy?
I mean, I enjoy a lot of functional training. Yep. I mean. Well, I like the high intensity training, especially like I'm getting a little bit older now, so I can't.
How old are you?
I'm 39 next month. Yep. Yeah, so I mean, when you hit your 40s and above, you do have to change your training style slightly. Yep. Again, as long as you keep training through your 30s and 40s, you're doing okay. But with our training down there, it's a lot of functional training. We mix up between your metabolic conditioning, the high intense interval training. I mean, my background is martial arts. That's how I first got into the industry. Okay. So when I was 16, I started training Kung Fu. Fell in love with it so much, I pretty much quit everything else. And
Yeah?
I became full-time student to the point where
That is awesome.
I lived in my Kung Fu school. There was a little room above the changing room.
In Brisbane?
It was Brisbane, yeah. It was in Brisbane City, the Wing Chun Kung Fu Academy.
Yep.
I used to live in a small room above the changing rooms and my
Yep.
brother too. We both lived there, shared like a double mattress.
This is fascinating, man.
This is like old school. I'm talking like we would train. We'd get up in the morning. We would train. Ended up by becoming an instructor. So I was a full-time instructor as well. So I was teaching morning classes, lunchtime classes, evening classes, doing my own training in between. End of each night, I was vacuuming, mopping the whole, like cleaning everything, eating my bowl of rice.
Proper
and then,
martial
I'm
arts
talking
student,
proper martial arts, man. I lived and breathed it,
Yeah.
which was great because I picked it up so well. It was just it was a style that really suited my movement. Picked it up really well. Fell in love with it. Trained hard, like full time.
Yeah.
I was living the poor life while doing it. I mean, I was rich in experience and knowledge, which was great.
Yeah.
From there,
Some holds with Kung Fu, like you do them for time.
Yeah.
The only reason I know this, Darko and his brother did Kung Fu. And I don't know anyone else that's done Kung Fu, man. And he was telling me about like they'll do like a wall sit or something, like a squat hold.
Yeah.
And then there's like different levels.
So,
And then you have to do it for...
So each one of our gradings, so like you start at level 1, level 2, level 3, you have other, part gradings in between, but every grading you went up, you added on a minute to your low horse stance. It's like a squat hold, you're sitting there like this. So I remember doing my level 10 grading for my gold sash, and I was sitting there 10 minutes. You couldn't move. You couldn't go up, you couldn't go down, you just had to hold it there. I was in a trance, just staring at one spot on the wall, just concentrating on my breathing, working on your chi flow, and you actually get to the point where you just don't even feel it anymore.
Yeah.
Until someone's like, they don't even tell you the time. They're like, time's up. You're like, oh, cool. Then you go to stand up and you can't really move your legs too well. But yeah.
That's ridiculous, right? If you and I tried to do a squat hold like that 10 minutes straight now, like Struggle Street, it was like with Kung Fu.
It's crazy. Like I say, when you're doing it all the time, I mean, you build up to that. I mean, you're not just going to jump straight in and try to do that for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you could, I'd be impressed.
What'd you do next? How long did you do Kung Fu for?
I mean, I did Kung Fu full time from the age of 16 through to 21.
Yeah.
And then from there, I ended up moving to Sydney for a little while. I had to have a break from it. I had a bit of a falling out with one of my instructors and just needed to sort of step away from it for a bit. I mean, I still did my own training from there. I lived down Sydney for a year with my brother, just doing some hospitality work. Had enough of that. Moved back there. When I came back, I mean, again, with Wing Chun Kung Fu, it blends well with other martial arts, other styles. So I also, while training Kung Fu, we moved into more boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai.
Wing Chun's like Ip Man, like
Ip Man, very good. It's very close quarter combat.
Yeah.
So there's like you have your southern and your northern styles. Your southern styles are more close quarters combats because they originated from the busier cities where there wasn't a lot of room. So you're fighting little alleyways and stuff like that. And the northern styles is out on the farms. You had all this room, so there's the big long sweeping movement. So you can see the progression and the difference between the different styles. And again, it's just very flowing. It's all about trapping hands, very fast hands.
Yeah.
And that transfers over as well to, again, other styles. Just that footwork is very similar to peekaboo boxing. So that's the style of boxing that Mike Tyson does. If you look at his footwork, that's very similar footwork to Wing Chun.
Okay.
So again,
peekaboo boxing.
Yeah, it's called peekaboo boxing. Okay. Have a look, YouTube it. The footwork is amazing. It's ridiculous. So went to boxing, Muay Thai. Fell in love with Muay Thai. Started training and teaching Muay Thai for years as well. We had a gym in Brizzy again, in Brizzy. So I had a gym over at Albion. We were there for 2 years. I lived again, same thing. Lived in a tiny little room above the change room. Yeah. Just teaching, living it.
That's the life.
Then we went to Thailand, trained over there for a bit. Came back. Yeah, so I had fun over there. Then we had another gym. We moved it to the Gap. So then we started progressing again. So everything's got to progress and grow, like any industry you're in. MMA started becoming very popular. So started moving into mixed martial arts with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. I actually just ran into my old BJJ instructor, Eduardo Diaz. He's a full Brazilian guy, happiest guy you ever meet. It's great. Just ran into him for the first time in a couple of years.
Is he the guy that has his academy at West End now?
No, I think it's a Kelvin Grove. Okay. I think it's a Kelvin Grove now. He just said I think it was at West End.
Okay.
I think he's moved to Kelvin Grove.
I think I've done a BJJ class with that dude.
Yeah, he's really good.
Brazilian guy, speaks like proper Yeah. His
Yeah.
wife is also involved in is that the dude?
I think
She's
so.
does some yoga or something.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I've been to his academy. And when I was trying to find a BJJ school, I sussed it out.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're right. Yeah, he's actually a great guy. Yeah, so when we progressed and we You know, because we used to train a lot of Muay Thai fighters. We had a couple of professional boxers, and then MMA scene came big, so we started training a lot of MMA fighters. I had a few fights myself.
How'd you go?
Yeah, I did okay. Didn't do as good as I wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, had some wins, had some losses.
So MMA fights or kickboxing?
I did both. I did
Okay.
Muay Thai and MMA. Even had a professional boxing fight.
Yep.
That was a bit of fun.
Jumped around a bit.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, so I found out just, you know, obviously, like, I take my hat off to anyone that ever gets in the ring.
Yes.
You know, professional, amateur, done both.
That in
I mean,
itself is a good,
yeah, it's an accomplishment.
mad achievement.
I still remember my first fight was an MMA fight, actually. Like, I was a stand-up fighter, and they took me down to the Gold Coast to fight this guy, and it was funny because I ended up winning with a triangle choke on the ground.
Okay.
So Eduardo was like the happiest I've ever seen him. It was
Yeah.
so funny. And another guy we took down who was a ground fighter ended up winning stand-up knockout.
What
So it was
the
kind
heck?
of like a bit of a reversal there.
Yeah.
But no, that was good. But yeah, then I discovered like my passion was more in teaching rather than fighting myself. Like I got more enjoyment out of that.
Okay.
Even one of my Muay Thai fights I had, I was in the clinch with the guy and he kept dropping his hand and I kept hitting him. I'm like, keep your hand up, keep your hand up. I'm like, why am I coaching this guy that I'm fighting? And
Yeah.
that was that point where I turned around and said, you know what, I need to step back from fighting
Yeah.
and just concentrate more on the whole coaching side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a bit of martial arts myself.
Yeah, what have you done?
I haven't been to the ring or done. I've often thought about it. I thought, man, it'd be pretty cool to have a training bout, prepare, and then then have that fight.
It's a big experience.
Yeah. As a kid, taekwondo. So
Oh, yeah,
a
no,
lot
that's
of
good.
kicks. And I was playing a lot of football at the time as well.
Oh, that would have been, it would have worked well then.
It went hand in hand, yeah. I found like most weeks I was either kicking at football or kicking at taekwondo. Did that for a number of years and then went a bit more serious with football. Dabbled around with a bit of Muay Thai.
Yeah.
At Blood Axe on the other side of town.
Yeah.
With Malcolm.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I know those guys. There's some brutal guys there.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
man.
funny thing is, usually when you go, excuse me, usually when you go to a new Muay Thai gym, if they see if they got a bit of size about you, or look like you can fight,
Yeah.
they're like, get in the ring. You're
Yeah,
like,
like,
oh, I'm just here to train, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that for a little while, and then got into lifting more. So sort of stopped martial arts for a while, and then recently I've gone to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm at an academy, Arte Suave at Wollongabba.
Oh, yeah, I've actually heard, I've driven past there a few times before, yeah.
Yeah. There's actually a new gym going in just before there. Absolute rookie still, white belt. Just learning the ropes.
Oh, mate, you're always
Yeah.
going to be a rookie, doesn't matter
Yeah.
what. You're always learning any sort of martial arts.
Yeah.
Enjoying it, though?
Yeah, man, loving it.
Mm.
I just like the challenge, the physical challenge, the mental challenge of trying to learn the chokes and master them. And
I don't think people realize how much is actually involved or how complicated these movements are.
yeah. Who's your favorite person in the UFC?
Oh, that's a hard one. Originally, my favorite was George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
When he first started out, he was so dynamic, so explosive, just good stand-up fighter, but could also fight on the ground. Then his fights started getting quite predictable.
Yeah.
Because again, when you're the champ,
Yeah.
you just do what you have to do to stay the champ.
Yeah.
Then John Jones came onto the scene.
Okay.
Excuse me, sorry. So I remember I was watching one of his first fights. He did this beautiful Muay Thai move, which I've never seen anyone else do in an MMA fight. I've seen a lot in Thailand and stuff like that, where you catch the body kick, and then you roll and spin and hit him with a spinning elbow. I saw him do that, and straight away I just stood up. I was like, "This guy's my new favorite fighter."
Yeah.
And then he moved on to become champ from there.
Yeah.
And then I still remember Conor McGregor's first fight as well.
Yeah.
He was so calm and methodic. And it was in between rounds, and he just looked like so calm and happy. And his trainer's like, "Do you want any water?" He's like, "Yeah, just a little bit." And I was like, "This guy's great."
Just chilled.
Yeah, so chilled.
In control.
In control, and just again, doesn't look like much, but you know he hits hard.
Yeah.
You can see he hits hard. How about yourself?
Man, I still like Conor McGregor.
Same.
Even putting all this other stuff aside, like all the stuff that he did wrong with Khabib. And taking it too far.
Everyone
and
has
whatever.
their flaws.
Yeah. I rate him, man. I follow a lot of what he does outside of the gym, and like his story of just being in a rundown gym, being broke, almost being out of.
Oh mate, he's done well.
Yeah.
He's made it.
And his missus going, "Nah, just hang in there. Just do it. We've
Oh,
got nothing to lose. We're living paycheck to paycheck, on whatever, England's equivalent of Centrelink
Yeah,
is.
exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Or
having someone
Ireland,
like that,
sorry.
having someone like that support you, I think it's going to help.
What are your training goals at the moment, man? You're fairly lean all year round. Are you trying to get lean for summer or what?
Well, at the moment, we're trying to get lean at the moment.
Yeah.
We're just about to finish up an 8-week challenge, and I was like, I was doing a bit of my COVID bulking, I like to call it. And then we came out of that. I was like, okay, now it's time to trim up a little bit, get ready for summer again. I mean, my goal is just to basically just try to stay fit and healthy, and again keep functional. This year is the first year I'm not playing gridiron. So
Okay.
all other previous years I've been playing gridiron, so my training's really sort of revolved around that.
Yeah.
It's getting your body ready, not only for all the contact, but for all the movement.
Yeah.
And getting strong and explosive in those movements as well. So at the moment, again, just try to lean down a little bit. I mean, put on a little bit of weight, which is what I wanted to. It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my own goal to stay at 100 kilos, get my body fat down below 10%.
Okay.
Almost there now, so that's good.
Nice, man.
Just maintaining that now is going to be the next challenge.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Get lean and get as strong as I can. I was just having these chats with my coach, RF Hunter, who helps me with the lifting.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was saying that, I was saying that I want to keep getting better at powerlifting, keep getting stronger, but I don't want to just put on bulk for the size of being able to lift heavy weights.
Yeah, like when you see some of those powerlifters, that's what they do. That's what they're made to push, pull, squat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keen on it, and I'm loving getting better at the lifts at the moment, just getting stronger. But I want to try and challenge myself and get underneath 10% body fat as well, and just keep getting stronger. And then also continue to enjoy stuff outside of the gym. I like getting on the bike, cycling. Yeah. Still playing football for the time being. Yeah.
I mean, it's important to have those loves outside the gym as well.
Yeah.
Especially you and me, we're in the gym, we live in the gym. Your mind's about the gym when you're not here, when you're especially being a business owner as well. And you need to have that outlet. And I found this year, excuse me, not playing gridiron has been a bit of, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, what it was.
Yeah.
Now it just, it's come to realization. It's like, I haven't had that outlet where I've got to go with the boys. You get to hit people. You get to legally. You get to have fun. You get your wins. You get your losses. You grow from it. And again, just having something else to train for is pretty good as well.
I went away from football for a long time, and then same thing when I went back. I was like, man, this is a sick feeling. But training with your mates, prepping for whatever the match is, and then game day, it's like the best feeling in the world. It's like we're up against these guys, we've got to go, these guys are physical, these guys are this.
Yeah, like coming from a fighting background myself, where it's just, pretty much you and another guy trying to destroy each other in the ring, to go into a team sport, such a good feeling. Again, which is like when you do your group fitness class, it's got a very similar feel about that.
Yes, and how we see similar things in the gym in our classes when it is a bit of a team vibe as well, because you're not just solo going into the gym, but it's uplifting, and everybody's crushing it.
Like I've noticed even when I've walked past, when you guys are training, you probably notice when you walk past our gym, like when you hear people like pushing and trying to get each other to lift more or go a bit faster or whatever workout they're doing, it's such a good feeling. It just really makes you want to train harder. Yeah. It's like playing team sport. When you have those guys backing you up, guys or girls backing you up, you just want to perform for them, not only for yourself, but for them. Yeah. And it just gives you that extra drive that I think you need. Yeah. Yeah, so it's good having that drive with your training and with life.
Yeah. That extra drive in the gym, man, I feel like that's where our industry is going a little bit. A lot of members of the community that I meet, they're struggling with work-life balance. Everybody's working more. Everybody's busier. Everyone's excuse is similar. I don't have time to work. I'm working on, I've got kids to look after. I'm with my business, da-da-da. Whereas there's just something about a group vibe when you go, all right, I know that the only thing I have to do is rock up. My coach is waiting for me. Everybody else is sort of already there waiting. And then even when you're having less energy, when you rock up and just do your best, and then everybody else is getting after it. Okay, I'm gonna.
Like you think about that, you go to your standard Globo gym, you stand in front of a mirror doing curls when you don't feel like you're like, that's it, I'm done. You rock up to a gym like ours, like yours as well. Like it just makes you want to train. I mean, we've got a quote on the wall It says the hardest part was getting here.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's true. It's like about any gym. The hardest part's getting there. Like you get to, you get to here, you get to our gym. You got the coaches, you got your friends. People you might not have known before a workout. You've sweated with them. They're now, they're your teammate now.
Yeah.
You've got that connection. It's just good having that extra push. I'll even have those days, I'm sure you do as well, where you're like, I don't really feel like training. I might just join in and do one of the classes,
Yeah.
And I'm glad I do that time to time because, again, it helps you build, more rapport, more of a bond with your members. Today I just jumped in the lunchtime class with the guys. When I did it, I was taking the lunchtime class. I was like, I'll do it with you. And it's good for them to see you, not only sweating but also hurting as well.
Yeah.
And they see you as, being a real person as well, not just a robot standing there yelling at them.
Yeah.
Which I think is an important thing. Like every gym I've worked at, I've always encouraged other coaches to jump in the classes as well. And not only for the fact that it's good for client owner or client trainer relations, it's also good for other coaches to might see an exercise where they haven't thought of or seen used in a way like that. Like we did a session at our gym. We had some other coaches come and join in. And it was a HIIT class. It was more of a sort of strength style HIIT class. And I had the guys doing a banded pull-off press for like 40 seconds. And the guys are reading the workout like on the board. They're like, how is this really going to work? And then afterwards they came up to it. And that was the first thing they said. Like, I didn't think that was going to be as hard as what it was. Yeah. By putting a banded pull-off press in there. Yeah. In a HIIT session, but it works well. So it's just, things like that can help, other people and other trainers just grow as well.
Yeah. I think a big part of it is also the fact that we practice what we preach. Exactly. And we're in the trenches working on ourselves, improving ourselves, working on our strength, working on our conditioning, on our cardio. I think sometimes I like to observe and research and, like you, been in the industry for a while, so you get to see other coaches and other things. And, whenever you see a coach that isn't really, grinding or working on themselves, you go, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I've seen other coaches that aren't even really aware of what they're trying to make other people do. Yeah. We've had other coaches come through. Again, when I've worked at bigger gyms, we had other coaches come in and try to, just let them have their sort of free range. Like, okay, this is your class. You try to build it up. I had one coach come in and the workout was a partnered workout, and one partner had to do 50 pull-ups, and the other partner had to do a plank until the other person finished 50 pull-ups. And this trainer, I was like, have you even done a pull-up before? Do you realize how hard that is or what you're asking someone to do? Yeah. And not only that, you're trying to get someone to plank for 10 minutes while it takes this person to do their 50 pull-ups. So I think it's very good when you do see coaches go through the workouts, or like myself, I won't make our members do a workout that I haven't done or I plan on doing myself. Yeah. I've tried them all myself, or I'm going to jump in and do it as well, or I've done one very similar. And again, it's like I've always been a big believer on, again, like you said, practice what you preach. You don't really want to go and see someone to help you get better at something which they don't really do themselves. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, again, when I was in martial arts, I went and found the best martial arts for that style of martial arts I wanted to learn. Yeah. When I got into strength conditioning, I went and found the best person to help deliver that. When I got into football, again, found the best person to help me develop that. Yeah. You always want to find people that are from that or living that. Yeah. It'd be like learning from a white belt. It'd like exactly. Yeah, you're not going to do it. Yeah. It's like the blind leading the blind. Exactly. Yeah. What's some hobbies or things that you get up to, bro? You've covered it pretty damn well. I didn't know you did gridiron, bro. That is pretty cool. So gridiron. No, there was gridiron. Actually, well, I didn't know for years there was a league. So my friend and I, one of my best mates, he used to play in South Australia when he was younger, and he didn't even know there was a league here either. And all of a sudden, we found out there was a league. We went down and checked out a couple of teams. We found the team that we liked and ended up playing with them for 5 years. Yeah. So yeah. It was really good. It was funny when we got there. It was like, excuse me. Everyone has like aspirations of being like the best receiver or quarterback, and like you got to find what's suited for you. Because I rocked up and the coach was stoked just to see a couple of fit guys. Yeah, this is great. He's like, they get you to try out a couple of things. You try catching the ball. People don't realize how hard catching a gridiron ball is. Okay. Especially when you're trying to run a certain route, the ball's coming at different angles. You got the helmets blocking some of your vision. Yeah, it's a big thing you have to get used to as well. Yeah. And if the quarterback can sling the ball, it's coming at you like a missile. Yeah. You run a few routes, and I think I caught on my first week, like 3 out of every 10 balls. And then when we were doing our tackling drills, I was just destroying people. And the coach was like, you're playing defense. And I played defense for years. It was great. So ended up playing for the Queensland team twice as well. So they do a national championship, which, again, was one thing I didn't know about, but then found out about that every 2 years, every second year. Excuse me, it was supposed to be done this year, but ended up being cancelled. Yeah. So all the teams from around Queensland go to tryouts. So they select 50 players. So the teams are 50 big, and then game day they obviously narrow it down. So we say, we're going to dress 25 people, and the other guys are just going to have to try harder for the next game. Yeah. So that was, I think, the second year I was playing gridiron. I ended up making onto the Queensland team, and we started training the year before. So it was the third year I was playing gridiron. I ended up playing in a national championship. We ended up winning. It was good. Ended up getting a championship ring and everything.
Nice, man.
We beat Western Australia in the grand final. Beat them by 2 points by field goal. One of the guys who played from the Gold Coast team ended up kicking the winning field goal. Yeah. And that was a pretty good feeling, just being on the team there. Yeah. But then 2 years later, made the Queensland team again. We ended up playing Western Australia in Western Australia, and they ended up beating us by, I think, like 2 or 3 points. And that was very disheartening. I was like, well, now we know what they felt like the first time around, so it was still pretty hard. Yeah. Pretty hard pill to swallow. So gridiron's been one of my loves. That's one of my good hobbies. Again, this year haven't really had a chance to practice or play, so we're just sort of holding off till next year now. Yeah. Other than that, again, I like going for rides. Yeah. I've started getting into riding a little bit more. It's one of those things that I've wanted to sort of create a bit more time for. Just lately, there's always seems like there's some sort of event or something on every weekend. How about yourself?
Just trying different things, man. Moving around. Recently, I got into a bit of kayaking on the river.
Oh yeah. I've done that before.
Just random things. Yeah. I enjoy watching movies a lot.
Same. That's how I like to unwind. That's how I love to unwind.
Yeah. Getting into a lot of podcasts, learning a lot. Just trying to stay on top of my own PD that I come up with for myself. I'm reading a good book about sleep at the moment. So from Dr. Matthew Walker, he talks about like the importance of sleep on performance. Is like sleep is the real steroids.
It really is. And that's one thing I've always struggled with. Yeah. Sleep. So you have to let me know the name of the book.
Yeah, Why We Sleep by Dr. I'm hitting it on Audible now, so I'll be like working out and hitting it and then trying to apply that. So I'm enjoying things like that, random things, and then sometimes I'll experiment with nutrition or diet or. I've got another mate of mine who's doing the carnivore diet at the moment.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
He's liking it so far, but he's like 10 days in. He was about to say, he was over the other night, and we ordered food. He's like, oh man, can't have that. What do you got, bro? I'm like, I don't know. I think there's some salami in the fridge, and he's just. But anyway, cut a long story short, random experiments like that. Sometimes I'll,
well, that's always good. Always keep it. Not staying closed-minded. I think is a great attitude to have as well. That's why you always, like I say, we're always constantly learning. Yeah. Sorry.
You're right, bro. I thought we could wrap up with a discussion of where you see, I guess, fitness in Newstead going, so that when we rewind this in 5 years' time, we can go, oh yeah, picked it, but we're doing this. It's heading this way, or maybe not. Maybe we can't predict anything.
I mean, like, who can lately? Who would have predicted that COVID would have shut down the whole world? Yeah. And that's happened. I mean, fitness in Newstead, I think, is going, at the moment, it's going in the right direction. I mean, I feel sorry for a lot of these gyms that actually haven't survived COVID. I mean, it's very unfortunate.
Is there a lot of them around?
There's been a couple that closed out. I just heard today that the Warrior Gym, I think it's called, is up on Helen Street or Wyandra Street. Yes. That one's just closed down, unfortunately. I mean, it's always sad to hear because, again, being a business owner, I should be thinking, yes, that's great. But again, it's not. It's like that's someone's life work that's gone into that. Yeah. I think more so, I think functional movement and group fitness is always going to be popular. Yeah. Again, because people realize when they do it, you can come train with someone like yourself or me and get done more in, say, 45 minutes than they'll get done more in 3 hours by themselves. And it's all going to be way more effective and with purpose and planned out. And that's, like I said, because people that have very busy lives, a lot of people don't have time to research the methodology of training they're going to use this week or the program they want to try out. Where they come in, you pay for what you get, basically. Like, you're going to pay a little bit more for a better gym or a better experience, and I think it works out. They get more value that way too. So you could go down to your local 24-hour gym.
Yeah.
It's not taking anything away from the 24-hour gyms around here.
Yeah.
You know, just go there and do your own thing, and people do that and realize they're not getting results. When you know, you pay a little bit more, you're working with a coach, you're working with a personal trainer. I think that's going to be more the way things are heading.
Yeah.
And especially with Newstead, this is more the young professionals. I find there's a lot of people that are moving into Newstead. They're moving here because of work. You know, it's not too cheap living in this area. So they're all people that don't mind paying to train as long as the training is effective and getting the results they want. So, yeah, functional movement, group fitness, personal training is always going to be there.
I'm sad to hear about the guys from Warrior. I have met them before.
Very sad to hear that.
I hope that they're doing okay, man.
I hope so. I mean, I hope they get to move on to something else or keep growing or keep training.
I know they came from, this was like their second venture. They came from up north. I think they had Warrior Fitness in Mackay or something.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I think it was.
Yeah. And then they came to Newstead recently. Yeah.
So again, I haven't heard the full reason why. I'm assuming it's just because of the whole COVID thing as well. I hope so anyway.
Yeah,
all the best to them.
Yeah, I think you're right, man, and I agree. There's I think we're at a point where the times of like going to a commercial gym, signing up, and just using a treadmill, I feel like those times are slowly, or just using equipment, and just jumping on a pin-loaded machine and just doing some things mindlessly. I think we're fortunate enough that the community's learning, okay, maybe that's not the best way of doing things. Looking at proper training, am I getting enough functional versus cardio? But I think 5 or 6 years ago, I'd see more people just doing cardio and not doing any strength training.
Good thing I've noticed in these last few years too is women with their training has improved so much more. Because back in the day, again, like, you'd go to the gym and it'd just be 20 girls on the treadmills or the cross trainers or on the row machine or whatever, and I think a lot of them realize that that you're not going to get longevity out of that, basically. So a lot of girls were scared of putting on weight, and unfortunately it's not as easy for girls. I mean, you get these CrossFit athletes that train hard and eat hard, and that's why they get bulky, and like girls look at that and they're like, oh, I don't want to do weights, I don't look at that. It's like, well, that's a lot of work that's gone into that.
I don't want to squat.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah,
exactly. No. So I think it's also a good thing. Like, I was speaking about it with some of the guys a while ago, like maybe back in like 2013 even. All the girls, even all the guys wanted to be just thin. No butt, just thin. And now it's all about getting healthier shape and people appreciating different shapes and sizes. And that's, again, one thing I love about my job is seeing people appreciate their own body and wanting to grow their body for how it works for them as well, and not just wanting to be, what they see on TV all the time.
There's less people out there now coming in, and that myth is still there. And I actually had a chat.
It is a little bit.
I had a chat with one of our girl members this week, actually, about just breaking those barriers of strength training is not going to get bulky. You won't look manly. There's a lot that goes into it, but certainly less than I think 10 years ago there was more of that, and girls were staying away from resistance training more. Those CrossFit athletes, man, some of them have good rigs on them.
I would be happy if I looked like some of those female athletes. That's ridiculous. That's a lot of hard work, and I appreciate that. And again, that's not for everyone, but still you've got to appreciate the work that's gone into that. It's like when I see like a bodybuilder. Again, it's not for me. I don't want to be like that, but I appreciate the hard work that they put in to get there. Because when you train, you know how hard it is.
A lot of discipline, a lot of dedication.
A lot of discipline, a lot of eating. A lot of eating.
Terry, good opportunity for us to wrap it up here, bro. Thank you so much for coming in.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, man. I'd love to come back sometime, have another chat.
Absolutely, man.
Fantastic.
Let's make it happen.
Will do.
Thanks, Terry.
All right, mate. Thanks, bye.